was 10 years old, my mother and father were divorced a few years earlier and moved their separate ways and all, but I used to divide my time between them. My father moved into an older house in a suburb of Montgomery, Alabama, and was staying with him on my weekends as I was supposed to. I was going to bed in the spare room that night and I got a little restless. My father was in the center of the room and there was a recliner chair off to the side of it. And I opened my eyes and there seemed to be someone standing in front of the chair. Of course, being 10, it scared the wits out of me. And I closed my eyes and waited for the worst. I got brave enough to open my eyes again and it was still there. It started to move towards me, my father's room, without haste. After a thorough check of the room, nothing was found, and I never saw it in that house again, other than some weird sounds and occasional corner of the eye sightings. My other encounter occurred a few years later while living with my mother in another town outside of Montgomery, Alabama, and again it was an older house. I was 17 at the time and a little more brave than 10, but in the back of the house there were no doors, and all the windows were securely locked and checked personally. But I have had more than one glimpse of shadow people in this house. Like the most memorable was when I was trying to sleep one late night, and I opened my eyes and noticed there was something on my ceiling. I didn't understand what was going on, and after I noticed it, it seemed to scurry away and hide in the darkness. But what was weird about the whole thing was that I very rarely ever saw them in front of the house or in my mother's room, just the two back rooms and the short hallway. My poor cat was scared most of the time. He likes being outside more than in, even on rainy nights and cold days.
Number 2.
I'm 19 and I live in New Jersey, and up until now, I never really had an answer for what I've seen. I am, of course, referring to shadow people. I have seen these things on a regular basis, and it creeps the hell out of me every time because it always seems to happen when I'm alone or when I'm off guard. My most recent event was when I had come home after a long night hanging out at my brother's. I believe the time was about 12 or just a couple minutes after. I came in the back door, which is attached to the kitchen. I set my keys down and turned to go to the fridge when I spotted someone, plain as day, standing in the living room across me. I'd say about 10 feet away. There weren't too many features I could make out, but I didn't recognize this person. I knew it wasn't my parents, so I took a double take, and when I refocused, it was gone. I'm kinda shaky and freaked, so I head to the fridge, grabbed the iced tea in the back, and started to stand back up. As I shift my weight back onto my heels, I leaned back to see that same figure standing right beside me, right behind my door. I got so scared that I yelled out and almost jumped into the fridge. The thing is that I see these things all the time. I see them all around in my house, in mirrors, even in my windows, as others have, and I can't take it anymore. My parents, I have a feeling, don't believe me, but they're not the ones being stared at by someone with no face. I seriously am scared of these things because I don't know what they want. I'd rather not know, but I just wish they'd go away.
Number 3.
I'm still trying to understand what exactly I saw. The details are hazy, but I remember how I felt. My account happened about 3 years ago in a small, sleepy town of Summit Hill, Pennsylvania. I was laying in bed with my husband. At the time, we only had one dog, and he liked to jump in bed and lay at my feet. It was the middle of the night, and I don't know if what I was experiencing was a dream or not. I saw my dog just staring at the corner wall by my bedside. I looked and thought I saw something. Then I sat right back up and looked again, and that was when I noticed a black figure standing next to my bedside. I screamed and felt frightened. Immediately it was gone. The figure was just standing over me. I would guess the figure was male, not quite sure. It just seemed to be male because it looked like it was wearing a hood, like a one-piece black garment. He had no facial features, just darkness. My husband asked me what was wrong and I told him, then went right to sleep. The next morning, my husband told me that he was awake right before this episode happened to me and witnessed everything. He told me that he saw the dog just staring at the corner wall, didn't think anything of it until I sat straight up and screamed. He didn't see the figure. All I know, that I was really scared. I was caught off guard and never expected to see a black figure standing over me. It must not have scared me too much as I was able to fall back asleep. I think of this quite often, and this whole incident is quite strange to me. I always profess that I don't believe in ghosts. When I hear the term ghosts, I attribute it to reality TV ghost hunters shows and scary movies. I guess I do believe in some kind of presence. I'm just not sure how I define it.